Hello. Recently, a few of my friends got campers, and they came home from the camper store from buying their campers, spending thousands of dollars, not knowing the basics of even on how to hook up a camper and using a weight distribution hitch. So I want to give you a few tips here, and this is the first time hooking up to this truck. So there's some things that I've got to change. First thing you need to do to set up your weight distribution hitch, get your camper setting level, using the bubble level like you would when you're setting it up to stay in. You need to sit on a level surface and leveled out, and then you get a measurement to the bottom of your tongue here, 22.5 inches. Ideally, you want this part at the base of the ball to be the same height as that, so that when they're mated up and the tongue is sitting down on the ball, it's one level unit. Now, right now mine is 19.5 inches, and I'm at the top of my brace here, so I'm going to have to get a taller tongue brace to meet that, but we'll move on for now. The second part about setting up this part of the distribution hitch is having this level. Now there's a pin in here with some washers and an adjustment bolt here. See it sitting downhill at this moment, so what I'll have to do is take a washer or two out of here and then tighten in this adjustment bolt to bring this up. Now you want it either level or just slightly back. It's a little bit too much right now as it is. So when I get the taller hitch, I'll adjust that and bring that up just a touch. Now I'm moving from an F350 to an Excursion, and I've already adjusted this as high as it will go, whereas my F350 set at a different height. So, but I'm going to drive on for now. Now the purpose of a weight distribution hitch is to keep your truck from sagging in the back, the camper loading up on the front axle. When you're doing that, you've got too much weight on the rear axle of the truck, too much weight on the front axle of the camper, and you're bowed in like that, and it will not handle well, and it will not pull as well. So what you want to do is be able to pick them up and ride them level. Now a lot of times people hook these up and they won't do it properly, and they're still riding sagging, but they think they're doing something because they have this hitch installed. And that's where the friends that I've had that have come home from buying campers, they weren't educated on how to do it. So basically what this weight distribution hitch does, you'll have bars that attach into here and come back and hook onto these hooks you see here. And what it is, just think of it like a wheelbarrow. When you hook it up, the camper will pick up on the truck like a wheelbarrow, level it out, level the camper out where everything rides nice and level. So I'm going to back up here and drop this down and let the truck sag and let you see what I'm talking about. I've done this once or twice before. Now I'm lined up, push the tongue back, lock back, and we're going to drop the camper down onto the truck. Now at this point what I'm going to do is go ahead and take all the weight off the camper so I can show you how far this drops. Okay, now I've got all the weight of the camper on the truck now. And you see it dropped down 2.5 inches. So I'm loading up on my rear axle there, I'm loading up on my front axle there, and it's not going to handle too well. That's the first step. Once you lock your tongue in, we'll get the weight distribution bars put on, and I'll show you what's next. Now I've got the bars in place, I'm going to raise the truck up not to its original spot, but about 3 inches higher. And you can just eyeball that. You don't have to tape measure this. So the purpose is to get this weight distribution bar up enough to where we can get the right amount of links connected to this and lock it in. So when you do it higher, it gives you some slack to play with. And then once you lower it, it pulls tension on that chain, pulls on these bars, and holds like it's supposed to. That's where I think most people have made their mistakes, is at this point, they put the chains on as hard as they can, they winch it on there, and they think it's done. But they're not getting the full effect unless they raise the truck above its standard resting height. Okay, so at this point, since the ball was locked in, I've raised the tongue, which actually picked the truck up. Now the whole thing's picked up, I can hook up the chains. I know from previous experience that I should hook to the 6th link. So I'm going to get that 6th link on there. And winch it on. Same thing to the other side. It's important they be level. The 6th link on. And lock it on. Now I let it down. Now you can see that the truck and the camper are riding much higher than they were before. Let's see how close to stock height I was able to get. Truck's only sagging by 1 inch. Not too bad. That's going to make it pull a lot better. No more sway, a lot better wear on your tires, and just a lot smoother driving. It won't bottom out when you hit the bumps. You still have some suspension left in the truck. And now your camper weight is spread over both axles instead of just that front. If you have any questions, just leave some comments and I'll try to answer the best I can. Thank you.